Hi everyone, hope things are good back at your place and you are doing your studies properly. Well, so today we are into the next part of the same chapter, voice, active and passive. In this, today we are going to learn what are the changes that we need to keep it in mind. No, I am smiling because every day I am telling you some or the other changes that has to be kept in the mind. Now, this chapter is very important because after this, maybe next chapter or the chapter after that we are going to deal with direct and indirect speech. So, where all these rules and all these changes are very important. So, if you can understand this chapter well, what happens? Your next chapter becomes very easy going for you, right? So, that is why we have to learn this chapter very thoroughly, right? So, it says today what we are going to learn. It says like this: change in imperative sentences. In imperative sentences, there are certain changes that are to be kept in mind when we change from active to passive voice, right? Now, what is imperative sentence? First of all, we need to recall. We have already studied in class 5 what is imperative sentence, and maybe we remember or maybe we need to recap. So, imperative sentences express a command, number one, a request or an advice. So, a command, a request or an advice is there in imperative sentence, right. So, keeping that in mind, what we have to do or what are the changes that we have to make when we are changing an imperative active sentence to imperative passive sentence, right. So, it goes like this: begin the sentence with let. So, we have to begin the sentence with let to change from active to passive voice. So, simple and basic rule, we have to add let. Rest of the rule remains the same that we have learned till exercise C. Okay. So, if there is a pronoun, personal pronoun, you know what are the changes that you have to see, and then prior to that the tenses that we have learned, we have to make the necessary changes according to the tenses that we have learned. So, let us get into the rest of this part. I have put two examples for you. Please shut the door. So, please shut the door, it is a kind of request. The moment we use please, it is considered to be a request, right. So, please shut the door. When we change it into a passive voice, this is active voice, and when we change into a passive voice, it becomes like this: let the door be shut. Once again, you have to identify the verb shut. Is in its present form, right, simple present form. So, it has been changed or it has been remained like this: please shut the door, let the door be shut. Next example: whip the eggs now. So, it will be like this: let the eggs be whipped now. Something that you will like is this, that we do not have to take care of the tenses as such in imperative sentences. The moment you have identified it to be an imperative sentence, that means a command, a request or an advice, we do not have to keep tenses. Tenses remains same. Previously, I told you we have to check into the tenses. No, you do not have to check into the tenses. Here, it is not necessary that you have to change the tense. Let the door be shut, it is in the same way, right. So, shut is shut. We are not using were or being or been or had or will, it remains the same. So, one thing good for all of us, we do not have to think about the tenses. We have to simply add let, and one more thing that we are adding, can you tell me? While changing an imperative sentence into imperative active sentence into imperative passive sentence, apart from adding let, we are also adding something. In both the cases, if you see, we have added be. Okay. So, let us check the structure. What the structure says: active voice, here verb, then verb, object and then other words. So, let us see: verb, then the object and the other words. But for passive voice, let plus object plus be, and at last comes the word. Let us see that. So, let the eggs be wiped, verb, at last the verb is coming now, right? In this sentence also let has come, the door be shut. So, verb is the last part of the sentence when you change into passive sentence. Okay. I have put up a few sentence for exercise D, which you have to do it in your copy once again, your grammar copy. The sentence says like this: press the button to start the engine. So, your answer to this, guess, if you can guess. I am writing the answer, please see here. As I told you, we do not have to make much or we do not have to see the tenses remains the same, or the tense or the verb remains the same. So, we have to keep this thing in mind, it has to have a let and then be. Okay. Let the button to start the engine and be pressed. This is how you have to make simple as this. The last one, help your elderly neighbors. So, this is actually I think sentence number what is this? Yeah, 5, sentence number 5 in your book. So, the answer goes like this: help your elderly neighbors. So, let your elderly neighbors be helped. That's it. So, this is how you have to do all the 5 sentences in your copy. Do your work and send it to me by 7 p.m. today. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.